Coming up on Cronkite News, Brittney Griner is facing her trial in Russia. We'll tell you about what her wife is hoping will happen.
Plus, the Cardinals will give fans a behind-the-scenes look at the season. We'll have details on the reality series.
And later on Break It Down, we'll take a look back in time at the history of the U.S. citizenship test.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Kyle Betts.
And I'm Jessica Herrera. Thank you for joining us. After months of waiting, Brittney Griner's trial is officially underway in Russia. For more details on what to expect as this unfolds, we turn to Connor Cox in the newsroom.
It's been over 130 days since Brittney Griner was arrested in a Moscow airport for reportedly smuggling less than a gram of cannabis oil into the country. If convicted, Griner faces up to 10 years behind bars in Russian prison. The U.S. National Security Advisor says Griner is being wrongfully detained and her case has the president's full attention. But not everyone is convinced.
No, I don't. And I hate to say that because I do trust that the persons working on this are very genuine people. That I do believe. But I don't think the maximum amount of effort is being done because, again, the rhetoric and the actions don't match. You know, when you have a situation where BG can call our government, the embassy, 11 times, and that phone call don't get answered, you don't have my trust at that point until I see actions that are in BG's best interest. It would have been in her best interest for her phone calls have been answered. It would be in her best interest for her to be back on U.S. soil. So until I see things like that, no.
Despite popular opinion here in the States, a Kremlin spokesperson says Griner's detainment is not politically motivated. Her next trial date is scheduled for Thursday next week. In the newsroom, Connor Cox, Cronkite News.
In another blow to reproductive rights, the Supreme Court ruled yesterday that a 2021 Arizona law can stand. That law allows prosecutors to charge doctors with felonies if they terminate pregnancies where the sole reason for termination is because of genetic abnormality like Down syndrome. This decision has no real effect right now in Arizona because providers stopped all abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned.
A U.S. district judge ruled on Thursday that Arizona's privatized prison health care system is unconstitutional. The judge found that prisoners' constitutional rights were violated by an inadequate system. Prisoners were not provided with or refused physical and mental health care. Thousands of prisoners were also kept in restrictive housing, where they were deprived of proper nutrition, exercise, or social time. The impact of this ruling on the state's contract with the healthcare providers is as of now uncertain.
Governor Doug Ducey signed a new bill yesterday that will provide millions to new border fencing. Part of a new border security package, this new legislation will direct $335 million towards new physical or virtual fencing along the border with Mexico. Virtual fencing would mean extra security cameras, motion sensors, and thermal imaging, among other things. The bill does not say when, where, or how the new tech will be installed.
From training camp to just before the beginning of the season, the show Hard Knocks has given fans an inside look to their favorite NFL teams over the past 2 decades. Now it's the Cardinals' turn. Cronkite News reporter Brianna Garcia gives us a glimpse of what the reality series has in store.
Come August, Hard Knocks will give fans a behind-the-scenes look of the Cardinals' 2022 season. NFL Films has worked with Arizona before, 7 years ago on the show All or Nothing, and they expect even better storylines this time.
And we're really excited to work with Cliff Kingsbury, who, as you know, is a great young coach, has done really good things so far with the Cardinals, and certainly also has a lot to prove.
Head coach Cliff Kingsbury isn't the only appealing character to appear on the show. Players like Kyler Murray and J.J. Watt are sure to draw a lot of attention. But Kingsbury says the show will feature more than just the big names.
I think there's a lot of kind of really high character men that we get to work with, whether it's staff, coaches, players every day. So just to kind of tell some of their background stories and to get to know them on that level, I think it'll be great for our fans.
While Hard Knocks is sure to give the team some added publicity, not all players are excited about having cameras capture their every moment.
The locker room is a safe space. You know, that's an area, and our offensive line room for us is a place where we get to just kind of, you know, just be guys sometimes, you know, and, you know, to have to filter conversation, you know, in that respect, you know, it is what it is.
With Hard Knocks coming to Arizona, NFL Films hopes to produce a show that all football fans will watch.
It's a team that's really loaded and is you know, a team that we think is gonna be a great subject for football fans, not just Cardinal fans, but all NFL fans and fans of good TV. I think are gonna enjoy this series.
Even more enjoyable to watch will be if the Cardinals can make it to the playoffs, or better yet, the Super Bowl in their home stadium. In Phoenix, Brianna Garcia, Cronkite News.
HBO starts shooting the series at the beginning of the season, but the first episode won't air until November.
Sedona attracts 3 million visitors every year, and the pandemic saw those numbers climb. More visitors has meant more traffic congestion, noise and air pollution, and public lands being damaged by off-road vehicles. Cronkite News reporter Autry Maneshny explains how Sedona is working to make tourism more sustainable.
This is like, it's dirt road, it's dirt Forest Service road, basically.
It's these dirt roads that bring many tourists to Sedona for some off-roading.
I think my favorite part about tourism in Sedona is the opportunities in Sedona. Whether that's hiking to OHVUs, biking, e-biking.
Tourism in Sedona accounts for $1 billion of the region's economy. That's according to the Sedona Chamber of Commerce. Visitor numbers surged last year because of COVID, and with that influx came a wide range of environmental impacts.
And most people recreate really responsibly, but the more people that come out, those few folks who don't necessarily know the rules or recreate responsibly, there's more and more of them.
Trails like the 525 and 1525C west of Sedona are go-to spots for Jeeps and OHVs. The Forest Service manages these trails. Tinderholt says tourists might not realize how they damage the land by doing donuts or riding off the trail path.
Those things like widening roads, widening trails, the dust and the impacts to our range.
To help address these issues, a conservation crew known as the Red Rock OHV Conservation Crew formed last summer. The crew partnered with Tread Lightly to help protect the land.
We'll be replacing a lot of the kiosk signage in the Coconino within the next few months. All of that signage carries, again, responsible, respectful recreation messaging.
The crew dedicates 1% of all OHV tour sales to trail enhancement and education. This has the potential for an annual contribution of about $400,000 to the Forest Service.
This is one of the many areas where the Red Rock OHV Conservation Crew is implementing their sustainable tourism efforts. They've covered this area to prevent vehicles from coming out and doing donut holes and in return harming the land.
Caldwell and Tinderholt hope that tourists educate themselves before coming to Sedona. In Sedona, Autry Maneshny, Cronkite News.
The Sedona shuttle launched in late March to help ease traffic congestion and limited parking issues near trails. The shuttles run Thursday through Sunday and are the newest addition to making tourism more sustainable in Sedona. Things are heating up as we head into the holiday weekend. Let's check in with Samir Malla in the Weather Center to see our forecast for the week. Samir?
Thank you, guys. As we take a look at our weekend 4th of July forecast, we're going to see some light cloud cover on the eastern portions of Arizona, slight precipitation and maybe some pop-up thunderstorms in and around the Tucson area at around Sunday evening, but then clearing up come Monday. As we look at the temperatures across Arizona, going to be 109 in Bullhead City, 107 in Gila Bend, 107 here in downtown Phoenix, but then in cooler temperatures in the higher elevations like 86 in Grand Canyon, 80 in Flagstaff, and 88 in Tombstone. As we look at the Saturday forecast, it's going to remain sunny in the high 90s, low hundreds, 0% chance of precipitation. And as we look at the 4th of July forecast, it's going to be 104 on Monday. Perfect weather to go barbecuing as they're about 3 degrees below our daily average. As we stretch on to the rest of the week, it's going to creep up into the teens, into 110 on Thursday and 113 on Friday. This is Samir Malla from the Cronkite Weather Center. Back over to you guys.
Coming up after the break, we'll take you to Los Angeles. And we'll tell you about new opportunities for kids to experience sports for all abilities and to enjoy some sun and sand on the beach.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything. History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
That's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
I'm Victoria Samuels, and I'm here with your Los Angeles Cronkite Sports Report. I'm at the Santa Monica Beach, and believe it or not, many kids in LA have never had the opportunity to come here. Cronkite News reporter Liam Barrett rides a surf bus and shows us how they are creating opportunity.
Load up the surf bus. It's time to go to the beach. The Surf Bus Foundation picks up kids, like the ones at Hollenbeck Park Summer Camp, and teaches them how to swim, surf, and enjoy the beach. Something Recreation Director Armando Martinez says they don't always have the opportunity to do.
So you have inner city kids coming from the inner city of LA, East LA, coming to enjoy, maybe for the first time, some of them, the beach, the glory of the beach.
USA Swimming Foundation found that 64% of Black children and 45% of Latino children don't know how to swim. Surf Bus Director Marion Clark wants her foundation to help bridge the gap by bringing these kids to the beach and helping them feel more comfortable in the water.
In LA County, by the time kids are middle school aged, half of the youth who live here have never seen the beach. And that's gnarly. Surf Bus Foundation's mission is to connect youth from all across Los Angeles with the ocean.
The beach can be more than a public area. For Clark, it's a place of peace.
I was homeless with my family, and the beach is where we came before we knew where we were going to sleep at night. This place is a refuge. This place is safe. This is where life happens. This is where you learn about yourself, and I can't think of a better way to spend the time I have on the planet sharing that with other people.
In the city of Los Angeles, with nearly 4 million residents, there are only 16 public pools open year-round. Organizations like the Surf Bus make a difference in the community, and the kids are loving every second of it.
I love the beach!
In Los Angeles, Liam Barrett, Cronkite News.
I think he's so...
Clark said that the beach changed her life forever, and she hopes that it can do the same for others. Now on to another opportunity. Los Angeles will be hosting the 2028 Paralympics. And there's an organization that is creating opportunity for those with disabilities. Madison Thomas attended their largest event.
Games like this one are one of many that give people of all ages the opportunity to participate in sports.
If you didn't think sport was possible, and in one day or maybe the weekend, you learned everything is possible.
And what seemed like the impossible became the possible for 4 people this weekend who ran for the first time since being injured.
Someone who loses their leg, for someone who's an amputee, running for the very first time unlocks a whole new set of freedom.
17-year-old Ezra Freck was born with a disability and started doing adaptive sports when he was 8 years old. His dad created Angel City Sports in Los Angeles.
That was, hey, we've got weather, we got people, a lot of people in Southern California, right? Sports mecca.
The organization hosts over 100 different sports clinics throughout the year and has major sponsors and visits from professional athletes like Ezra, who is now a Paralympian.
Paralympians were at this weekend's event and talked about the importance of giving back to the community and providing opportunities for younger generations.
Ezra competed for Team USA in track and field in Tokyo.
Hopefully, if I come to events like this and other Paralympians come to events like this, hopefully little kids can see us on the TV and inspire them to go after their goals in the same way.
Their goal might be the same as Ezra's.
I think our future is bright, partly because the Paralympic Games are coming to Los Angeles in 2028.
In Norwalk, Madison Thomas, Cronkite News.
Angel City Sports has events year-round. For more information, go to angelcitysports.com. And that's it for your Cronkite Sports Report from LA. I'm Victoria Samuels. Back to you.
The official list of the Presidential Medal of Freedom recipients has been released, and some notable Arizonans made the cut. The list includes former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who was the youngest woman ever elected to Arizona State Senate, and after surviving an assassination attempt, went on to create a nonprofit dedicated to stopping gun violence. And Senator John McCain, who passed away 4 years ago, but served Arizonans for decades in the U.S. House of Representatives and U.S. Senate. The medals will be presented next week.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.